Hello and welcome to another Happy Hour with Hockett. I am your host, Anna Hockett, and I'm very, very happy to be here on behalf of Colorado Springs Rising Professionals. This is the second Happy Hour with Hockett episode that we're happy to bring you, a local business from Colorado Springs. Now, just to give a quick plug to the Colorado Springs Rising Professionals, it's a wonderful group I joined. Even though I've been here for about 3 years now, I had never really felt as connected to the community as I wanted to be. And the great things about Colorado Springs Rising Professionals is either it's a great way to feel connected to your community or get connected to another organization that might fulfill you in some way, whether it's a nonprofit or a charity or one of these local businesses that we're highlighting here on this show. I'm very grateful to my good friend Brandon Stevenson for bringing me and convincing me to join the Colorado Springs Rising Professionals. Some of us might call it this CRSP. So without further ado, let's get into this. I do have a beer here, a local beer from Fieldhouse Beer Works. We did interview them last week. And I just can't get enough of this Sticky Paws beer. Usually I put an orange in it, but I'm fresh out of oranges, so I'm gonna have a little toast. And like I said last week, one thing we try to do on this show is focus on some of the positive and really happy things that are going on, especially at a time like this in Colorado Springs. So I want to introduce you to one of my very first friends and really mentors in this city. This is Anna. She is with Pikes Athletics, and she has been not only a great friend to me, but like I said, someone I truly look up to in this city as a small business owner. Actually a larger business owner. And she probably doesn't have a cocktail with her because her position is a little more fitness focused, but I did tell her to bring some sort of a beverage. So Anna, can we do a little cheers like we like to do to start off our little happy hour with Hockett toast? Cheers to Pikes Peak Athletics, and let's kind of get into it here. Let me take a sip. Oh my gosh, that's delicious. So Anna, why don't you tell us a little bit about PPA or Pikes Peak Athletics and how it kind of got started?
Thanks, Anna. Well, I'm really excited to be here, so thanks for having me. George and myself, George is my husband, we started Pikes Peak Athletics in 2011. And the whole purpose of us starting Pikes Peak Athletics was to provide high quality swim programming for all ages, all levels and abilities, and also all commitment levels too. So we wanted to provide some sort of swim instruction to everyone and anybody who wanted it. So we started at the Country Club of Colorado, and we were doing swim lessons down there. And then we started our master's team, which is an adult program. So anyone who's 18 and older who wants to swim on a swim team, we started that as well. That was during the summer of 2011. Okay. And then the fall of 2011 is when we started our USA Swimming Club team. And so since then, we've grown every year. And when we first started, we knew that ultimately if we wanted to grow the business to what we wanted it to be, that we would eventually have to build our own facility. So in 2018, actually we just hit our 2-year mark this April, we built our own facility.
That's incredible. So Anna, what is your, I do know this, guys, everybody watching, but I want everyone else to hear a little bit more about your and George's background. As far as like, how did you even, because a lot of people like to swim or like different activities, but they don't start, a business that has grown to something that's a really big feature in this community now, as a business and a way of life. So tell me a little bit about how you started or how you started and then how it kind of became this.
Sure. Well, I grew up in Colorado Springs, and so it's always been a really vibrant community for swimming. And when I returned from school, I wanted to be a part of it again. And I went to University of Wisconsin. I swam there.
Go Badgers. Everybody that doesn't know, I'm from Madison, so this is kind of a big deal and a huge connection for Anna and myself.
Yes, go Badgers. So I swam there. I went to school there, and then I returned to Colorado. I missed Colorado, love it so much, and went to University of Denver for my graduate degree. And I always knew that I wanted to be in some sort of student services and working with people. And while I was there, I was the assistant coach for DU for a year. and I really started to get back into swimming and was very excited about it. That's when I met George, was right before I started grad school. And he was working for USA Swimming in Colorado Springs.
Got it.
And so we were always kind of connected with the swimming community. And he continued to work at USA Swimming. And I eventually started working at Pikes Community College. And we both were very interested in being in the swimming world in Colorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, we wanted to make sure that we built our roots in Colorado Springs,
mm-hmm.
because most of my family is here, and we really wanted to be near family. So we ultimately just decided to start Pikes Peak Athletics, and we knew we were going to start small. I ended up just cold calling pools to see if they wanted someone to run their swim lesson program. And at the Country Club of Colorado, I was lucky enough to meet a gentleman who was running the aquatics and rec program. And he said, actually, we are looking. And so that first summer, we literally started hiring instructors the end of May, and we started the beginning of June.
That is so exciting. So then did you guys have to leave what you were currently doing, or did it kind of funnel right into, did you just tell Pikes Peak Community College, hey, I got to live this dream here, or how did that go?
So I actually had left Pikes Peak Community College and I was personal training. So I could run Pikes Peak Athletics and personal train at the same time. I just kind of, put my clients around the times that I needed to be working at Pikes Peak Athletics. And because of that, George could continue working at USA Swimming. After 5 years, George ended up leaving USA Swimming because the role at Pikes Peak Athletics became too big for both of us. I left personal training after 2 years.
Wow.
Pikes Peak Athletics being open.
That's so incredible, though. And you didn't really touch on this, but just because I know you and I'm so proud of my friend, can you mention a little bit about your success in swimming at Wisconsin, at the University of Wisconsin?
Sure. I have a hard time talking about myself and my swimming career, but
I'll just keep asking that.
While I actually made my first trial cut when I was in high school still, and then I made Olympic trials in 2000, 2004, and 2008. I competed in 2000 and 2004, but I actually graduated college in 2006, so I didn't compete at the 2008 trials, but I did have cuts then. University of Wisconsin's Division I, swam through college the whole time I was there. I was captain for my junior and senior year. By the end of my swimming career as a college swimmer, I had ended up getting 9 Olympic trial cuts in 9 different events.
It's a really big deal. We have to bring it up because that means that the people that are teaching the youth and the adults swimming in this community are so qualified and so incredible. I think that's, I know it makes you uncomfortable to talk about, but we have to bring it up, and we have to, you know what, I'm going to toast to that, because that's a pretty big deal. I mean, I'm friends with Olympians, man. This is great. So
I was not an Olympian. I just made Olympic trials.
Almost. In my mind, you are, Anna. All right. So tell me a little bit about you guys started kind of grassroots, going to different pools around, or, utilizing different pools around Colorado Springs. And you said that it was always kind of a dream to build your own and have your own pool. But I've been to the facility, guys, because I was there for the grand opening. It's insane. It's unbelievable. It's like a world-class fitness center, as well as pool and all this different stuff. So tell me a little bit about, how that progressed. So it started in 2011. And I knew you guys, back in 2016, 17, when I first moved here. And that's when I think you were still having to negotiate or navigate a lot of different, logistics with going to different pools and working with weather and all that type of stuff. So talk to me about that a little bit, how that went.
Sure. So before we had our facility, we offered swim lessons at the Country Club of Colorado, the Club at Flying Horse, and Valley Swim Club. Again, we started at the Country Club of Colorado, so that's been our primary site since 2011, and we've never left there.
Okay.
And then throughout the years, we added sites as we went. As our swim team grew, we were renting time from local high schools and the Olympic Training Center. And then strength and conditioning is a big piece of what we do with our kids, because it's really good for mobility, injury prevention, and just all around athlete development. So we also had a gym space that we were using. So we were renting or leasing space in 4 or 5 different locations for our swim team. And
wasn't that really tough logistically? Because then you'd have to have your instructors and all your coaches at all these different places at all different times.
It was. So ultimately, we're still kind of considered a small USA swimming club. We're probably the 2nd or 3rd biggest in the city. But I would have people ask me all the time how many coaches we had on staff for the swim team. And I had 8 to 10 coaches because we were just all over the place. Sure. And then with instructors, we would have up to 25 or 50 during the summer because we were all over in different locations.
Right.
And that's really hard on families who are on the swim team, because if you have 3 kids and they're all different ages, they're practicing at different times, different locations. Sometimes they're practicing at the same time, but different locations. So it was like we had families driving all over the city for us. And so we knew if we were going to be able to sustain anything, that we were going to have to build our own facility. The other thing is with swim lessons, kids just learn better and can focus more in a warm water pool.
Right.
That's specific for swim lessons. So we knew if we wanted to teach kids at a little bit higher level, higher quality, that we were going to have to build a pool that had a separate teaching pool that we could keep at a higher temperature.
Well, I mean, I know that this sounds selfish because we're talking about the people you're teaching to swim, but I was a lifeguard and swim teacher when I was in high school, and the pool was freezing. And that was one of the reasons that was the worst job it was a fun job, but it was like one of the worst jobs. I was cold all the time. I was just freezing all the time.
Yeah, and imagine the kids that you were teaching who were probably half your size or
ice cold. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. So tell me how the process of that went. I mean, I know many people that were involved. So, so I know, tell me what the timeline kind of was as far as building your own pool.
Well, when we started Pikes Peak Athletics, we knew from the very beginning we were going to have to do that if we were going to grow. And so even from the very first steps, we wanted to build our programs, but then 3 years in, we really started to focus in on what's it going to take to build a pool. And, I'm not in construction. I'm not in real estate.
Right.
I don't know any of those things. So what we ended up doing is we put together an advisory board of just really smart people we know in different areas of professions. And they really helped us get through it, and they led us through it. And it was the best thing we could have done because they really just helped us navigate it. We did the back end work. We told them, hey, we're going to meet 3 times for an hour. Mm-hmm. We just your input and your advice and tell us how we can do this, and we'll put in the legwork. And ultimately, that's how it happened. And we were just lucky to be able to surround ourselves with really smart people who were willing to help. And mainly that was because we had built our program, and they were people already kind of a part of our program. So they already loved what we were offering, and they wanted to help grow it. And also they wanted to have one central location.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so exciting. So you guys, the grand opening was what, 2 years ago, you said?
Yes, it was April of 2018.
And you're on site currently. So if you look in the background, everybody, you'll see one of the pools at Pikes Peak Athletics, which is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, it's the most, I feel so special whenever I'm there and I'm doing any type of workout, obviously previously. And it's a wonderful facility. So Anna, I hate to bring this up because this is more about happy things than what we're dealing with right now. Can you tell us a little bit about what's been going on for you guys the last 2 months with everything else that's going on in the world?
Yeah, so I mean, this really impacted us. March 17th was our first day that we had to close down. So we were mandated to close for multiple reasons. One was a gym was considered a pool was considered part of a gym.
Yeah.
So we were mandated to close all of our pools, and we also have a strength and conditioning facility in the same building upstairs. We had to close that. So we've been closed for 6 weeks. When you're closed in a service like this, you can't give any type of services. Luckily, on the swim team side, we can do some strength and conditioning out, over Zoom or Instagram. So we've been able to do that, but on the swim lesson side, you can't teach lessons unless
Right.
you're in a pool and you're near a child. So we haven't been able to do any of that. So our revenue's been down, but we are very lucky because our families are extremely supportive. We have very loyal families, and we've been lucky to have that. And everyone's really ready to get going. As soon as the stay-at-home mandate was over, we were flooded with emails on when are you opening? Can we get going again? So we're excited to try to get going again.
Absolutely. Well, just a few questions to wrap things up. Thank you so much for your time. I think that obviously I have a tie to your organization because I've been friends with you, but also because I think health and fitness is so important, and it's such a huge part of bringing community together as well. When I see folks that are truly really missing the fact that they can't be in a pool and can't be working out with you guys and their coaches and everybody that works with PPA. I was so excited to have you on here to tell your story. And I think, if you could just let everyone know kind of where your location is and what they can do as far as if they want more information, how to get engaged or how to look up, maybe where some new swim lessons are, or if you're, an adult, what are the next steps as far as how to get more involved?
Absolutely. So our facility is located at 602 Elkton Drive, which is right off of Garden of the Gods in Chestnut, basically. Very, very centrally located, easy to get to. We are a 10-lane, 25-yard by 25 meters. So our lanes are 8 feet wide. And then we have a separate pool that we keep at 90 degrees, specifically for our swim lesson program.
Or for someone like me.
Right. And then upstairs we have a 3,500 square foot gym that we can that people can have access to when our swim teams are not in. And then the same thing goes with our pools. People can have access to that when our swim teams are not in. So we call that our monthly access pass. And then swim lessons, we're not currently offering group lessons right now because of COVID, but we will be able to start offering one-on-one lessons again. And we'll be able to do that either in the big pool or the little pool, depending on what your level is. So we do have lots of adults who come in who either want to learn to swim or are trying to get better for a triathlon or anything like that. We really have all levels, all ages that take lessons with us. So that's our main facility. And then we do offer lessons still at the Country Club of Colorado, Valley Swim Club, and the club at Flying Horse. Right now, I'm not sure when those will get started again, but when the pools open up again, we'll be able to do that. And really the easiest way to reach out to somebody about lessons or swim team is emailing lessons@pikespeakathletics.com.
So again, that's lessons@pikespeakathletics.com, correct?
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, and we can probably put some links in however we're going to put this out there for everybody as well. So we'll make sure that lessons@pikespeakathletics.com. Do you have, is there a website that you usually direct anybody to as well?
Yeah, our website has tons of information on it. It's just www.pikespeakathletics.com.
Okay, so one more time, that's www.pikespeakathletics.com. And if you have any questions, you can always let us know as well, and we'll be happy to push you or direct you in the right direction. But Anna, this was so great. It's so wonderful to see local, born and raised people from Colorado Springs coming back and really thriving. And we hope that this is all over as soon as possible, so you can have a packed pool, even if we can't do interviews like this while lessons are going on.
Yeah, normally this place is hopping. It's quiet right now.
I can attest to that. It definitely is. But it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today for Happy Hour with Hockett from the Colorado Springs Rising Professionals. And we will talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Anna.
Everybody.